Greetings, friend. I will show you how to solve this puzzle, Shatter Dance, by using an advanced strategy called a W wing. Not only that, I'll show you that there's 2 W wings you need plus 2 other additional strategies. That's 4 advanced strategies. I'll explain it all to you. Click below if you want to give it a go. And with that, it's solving time. Okay, first thing you want to see here is you got a 5-7 here and a 5-7 here. So there's only 2 places for a 5 and a 7 in block 9. That is a hidden pair. The thing you have to do with this puzzle is you have to kind of start creating some spots by looking for these hidden pairs. The other thing that jumped out to me when I saw this before is you got a 1-2 coming down column 5 and a 1-2 coming down column 2. So in row 7, where can a 1 and a 2 be? It can only be in 2 places. So that's another hidden pair, 1 and 2, which means we can finish the rest of row 7 with a 3-8 naked pair. Nice. I love how Wisteria did this. This is the last of my Setter Spotlight series. And in fact, after each advanced strategy, I'm going to give you a little fact, a little tip insight about Wisteria Fall, aka Wisteria. All right. Now that you did this 1 and 2 here, we want to see what other power those 1s and 2s have. So if it comes out here, there's only 2 places for a 1 and a 2 to be here in block 8. And so that's another hidden pair, and which creates a nice, I'll highlight it, a nice naked triple here of a 3-8-9. This is important. This 1 and 2 is important, but also the naked triple is going to be important as well. Okay, see, now we're kind of creating some spots because there wasn't a lot of givens with the 1s and 2s, but we're starting to see that they're limiting them to certain spots. Now, this 1 and 2 coming across row 5 also has the same effect as one that came down column 5. So now you got a 1 and 2 hidden pair here because there's only 2 places left for a 1 and a 2 here in block 6, which creates another naked triple. And guess what? It's the same 3 digits, 3, 8, and 9. So there's a lot of symmetry here going on when you see that the 1s and 2s are limited to 2 spots and you have this 3, 8, 9 naked triple going on. What does that do for this block 5 right here? So if you have a 3, 8, 9 coming up here, that means a 3 is limited to one of these spots. So it can't be anywhere else in column 5. And if you have a 3, 8, 9 right here cutting across, then a 3 can't be anywhere else along row 5, along with the 8 and the 9. Notice that the 2 also cuts across row 5 and column 5. And so in this block, you have a 2-3 hidden pair, right? Hopefully you see this. And this is the key. Everything we've done to this point is crucial for setting up to get us to solve this puzzle, because we're about to get to that first advanced strategy. And believe it or not, I've actually showed you everything you need to get to that strategy. And this is so cool because we're going to be able to double down on this strategy, right? So the 4 strategies, 2 are the same, and then the other 2 are going to be these W wings I keep talking about, and they're very excited. But before we get to that, we got to get to this strategy first. We got to set ourselves up. We want to try to solve here in block 9. This is kind of the key. This is everything that we've done is actually helping us to solve for down here. And you got to set up block 5, you got to set up block 6, and you got to set up block 8 to make that happen. What can this cell be? If you're looking at it right now, you can see that it could be a 1, 2, 3, but it can't be a 4, 5, or a 6, or a 7, or an 8, or a 9. So it can be a 1, 2, or 3. We need to whittle this down somehow. Let's look at row 9, column 9. What can this be? Well, you'll probably notice it could be a 1, 2, or 3, but it can't be a 4, 5, 6, 7. It could be an 8, but it can't be a 9. So this can be a 1, 2, 3, or 8. If we can somehow whittle down these 2 cells, maybe we can get some solving done, because you're not going to really get any other solved cells until you can figure out these strategies. So the first strategy I'm about to show you, it is called a 2-string kite. It's a nice single cell advanced strategy, and usually when you get stuck in a puzzle and you can't solve it else, this is one of the ones you want to look for. Similar to skyscrapers, X-wings, 2-string kite. And how it works is you want to kind of look here in block 5. Notice how the 2s has a strong link to this 2 right here, right? A 2 can't be in any of these spots. A 2 can't be here. So there's only 2 places for a 2 in row 4. So that means it has a strong link. In the same block, do we have another 2 that comes out in a different direction with a strong link? And we do. It's this 2 can't be in any of these spots, can't be here. So there's only 2 places for a 2 coming out of block 5 in column 4. So that's another strong link, right? So when you see that, you want to look at the ends and go, okay, wherever these two ends are, one of those has to be a 2. One of these cells has to be a 2, and we can eliminate a 2 from any cell that sees both of those. So why is that the case? And I'll do some nice color because I love the color. And the reason being, how the two-string kite works, again, you got a strong link coming one way out of a row, and you got another strong link coming out of the column from the same block. That will create a two-string kite. Maybe this kind of looks like a kite to you. The reason being is either this is a 2, and then that can't be a 2 right here, right? Either this is a 2, it can't be a 2, or if it's not a 2, this has to be a 2 because it's the only other 2 in column 4. This won't be a 2, and then this will have to be a 2. So that's how the two-string kite works. It's either here or here, which means we can eliminate a 2 from that spot. Now, like I promised, after each advanced strategy, I'm going to give you a nice little tip about Wisteria. All right, first, Wisteria fault, she's only been setting since June. So like 6 months. And that's amazing considering the level of creativity and techniques in these puzzles. I was floored when I heard it's only been doing this for 6 months. Okay, great. Now, we're moving on to the second strategy that Wisteria put in here. And guess what? It is another two-string kite, but it's going to be slightly different cells. So let's get rid of this coloring, and maybe you can see it. Maybe you saw it before you saw this one. We're going to still be using, believe it or not, block 5. And so I'll put the purples back in there, but instead of going out the row, we're going to go down the column from this one. Because you might notice 2 can't be here, can't be here. There's only 2 places for a 2 in column 6 coming out of block 5. Awesome. And then if you go over here, a 2 can't be in any of these spots, can't be here. So you have another strong link going over to this 2. This is also a two-string kite. So this is so amazing. Same strategy, a little bit different cells. I love this. I love like the layering of the strategies here. When I found this, I got really excited and giddy because, like I said before, either this is a 2 and this cell right here can't be a 2. This is not a 2. This has to be a 2. This can't be a 2. And then this would have to be a 2 because there's only 2 2s in row 6. So either way, either this is a 2 or that's a 2. That's how the two-string kite works. And we can eliminate a 2 from right here. Now, if you're just not familiar with two-string kites, if you haven't been exposed to that on this channel before, I have a tutorial for you. It's my X-shaded two-string kite tutorial. Check it out right here. Get all familiar with it, but please make sure you finish the rest of this puzzle because you're not going to miss the strategies I'm about to show you. It gets even better. Now, since we just did another advanced strategy and removed the 2 from this spot, I promised you another tip fact about Wisteria, and here it is. Wisteria usually takes 2 to 3 days to create a puzzle. She says she likes to draft the idea in one evening and kind of think about it and finish it either the next day or the day after. I always find that fascinating. I've heard of setters taking 30 minutes up to 2-3 hours in one sitting to days to get a puzzle done. So I'm curious to see how long it takes setters to come up with these kinds of solves. Great. All right, so we whittled away some candidates down here in block 9, but you notice we hadn't solved anything yet. So that means we probably need another advanced strategy. We got to work on these 2 cells some more. How can we do it? Believe it or not. And I know I keep saying that. We're going to use some of these same cells, but it's a different strategy. This time we're going to be using that W wing. And this is great. When you can overlap strategies using the same cells, I love it. So the key thing for a W wing is you got to have the same bi-value cells at the beginning and the end. And then you have to have one of those candidates, either the 1 or 2, has to see and have a strong link with the beginning and then a strong link with the end. And they got to be connected somehow. All right? They got to have a strong link between each other. And that's what we have here with these 1s and 2s. So here's how it works. See how this 1 has a strong link with this 2. It has a weak link to this 2, but that 2 has a strong link to this 2 right here, like we've already proven. And this has a weak link to this 2 and a strong link to this 1. And you're saying, well, Timberlake, you said it was a strong link. Yeah, actually, the weak links are surrogate weak links. They're strong links that act as weak. It's important to kind of get the nomenclature down so that you understand when you actually find a working W wing. And the easy way to look at it is, first, make sure you got the same by value cells. Either this is a 1, and this cell here can't be a 1, or this is not a 1, which means this would be a 2. That can't be a 2. This would be a 2. This can't be a 2, and this would have to be a 1. Either case, you have a 1 either here or here. So we can eliminate the 1 from this cell right there. Okay, because we know a 1 has to be one of those yellow cells. So this is the W-wing strategy. When you clicked on this puzzle, you're probably wondering, hey, Timberlake, what are you going to show me the W-wing? This is the first W-wing. It is not enough to solve a cell yet. We've got to look and do this again, believe it or not. I'm saying it one last time. Using similar cells, we're going to create another W-wing, and it's with these 1s and 2s. So let me get the nice coloring going on. We'll do some yellows here, we'll do some purples here, and these cells should look familiar from the 2-string kite, but now we're going to focus on the 1s, okay? And instead of coloring the wrong cell, I'll color the correct cell. There we go. Now maybe you're screaming. That's called a screamer cell. When I do something wrong, just scream it out and let me know in the comments that you saw that correctly. So either this is a 1. If this is not a 1, it would be a 2. Then this couldn't be a 2. That would have to be a 2. Then this couldn't be a 2, and it would be a 1. So either a 1 is right here, and we can eliminate this 3, or this 1 from this cell with the 3, or if it's not here, it has to be here, and we can still make an elimination of the 1 in this cell right there. This is called a W-wing. And if you're not familiar with W-wings, they're very powerful. They can be kind of hard to spot. They work with these by-value cells. I'll put a link to my W-wing tutorial. Hugely popular. One of the first videos I made, and I get views on it almost every single day. Go check it out. Get familiar with W-wings. There's 4 different types, actually. This is just one of the most popular ones that you're seeing here. But same idea. By-value cells, strong links in the middle, and so you know that a 1 has to be here or here. We can eliminate the 1 from this spot. Okay, I've showed you the 4 advanced strategies. This puzzle actually reminds me of another puzzle using W-wings. Stay tuned to the end, and I'll show you that because I'm going to give you a new challenge of how to find a W-wing. But I also promised, after every advanced strategy, I was going to tell you something else about wisteria. So my 4th little tidbit is that wisteria got her name because wisteria is her favorite flower, and the fall is in Wisteria Fall is an honor to a sci-fi writer named Isabel Fall. And then most of Wisteria's puzzles get their names from song titles because she really likes music. So I thought that was really cool. I always am curious where people get the inspiration to name their puzzles. And so there you have it. Okay, if we eliminate this 1 from right here, what does that mean? It means we can solve that for a 3. And now the real solving begins. Let's get rid of those colors and let's see where we can go. And by real solve, I mean we're actually going to be able to start solving some cells. Because once you solve this for a 3, this becomes an 8. And so you need all those 2-string kites, all the W-wings to get those 2 cells solved. And so when this is a 3, now you can see that has to be a 9. This can't be an 8 anymore. And now you got a 9 and a 9 with this 9. Means this has to be a 9. And we're starting to make some progress. And with these 2 9s, means this has to be a 9. And we are looking good. Okay. So we got a 3 9 there. And it's not all smooth sailing, so you have to got to keep paying attention because we are not quite out of the woods. There is some more significant solving going on here. You might get a little stuck if you're not quite paying attention. Let's look here. And we'll solve first this 3 and the 8 so we can clear all that out. What can this cell be? You may notice that this can only be a 1 or a 2 because you got a 5 7 right there. So this is a 1 or 2 and this is a 1 or 2. That's actually a naked pair, which means this has to be a 5 7. That'll come into play later. I want to make that mark now. Okay, and now you have this 1 2 here and 1 2 here. That means the rest of this has to be a 6 8 9, right? We got that 3, we got the 1 2 in those 2 cells. So we need a 6 8 9. Well, I see a 9 and an 8 right here. This actually has to be a 6. And we could do an 8 9 right there until we made some more solving. And so now let's look 6, 6 with this 6 means this has to be a 6. And then this is actually going to be a 3, 9. And you'll notice it's a naked pair with this other 3, 9. And so we can fill out this block with a 1, 2, 4. We'll come back to that, but I do want to kind of put some of that down there. All right, 6 and the 6 with this 6 means there's one place left for a 6 in block 4. It has to be right there, and now we can solve this 6 right here. And we're going to be able to solve these other cells pretty quickly by marking this 6, because now you'll probably notice the 7 only has one place it can be in block 5, so that's got to be your 7. And then we'll look at the 4 cutting across here, means this has to be your 4, and this has to be your 5. And we'll get back to this 2, 3 here shortly. But doing this is now created some more solving capabilities for us. If you look across row 5, we have 2 cells remain, a 5 and a 7. I see a 7 right there, so here's your 5, and here's your 7. 5 and a 5 here means this has to be a 5. This is where it gets kind of tricky. You want to keep following and stay tuned to the end. If you make one mistake here, you might break the puzzle and think you did something wrong. If you follow me, you'll be sure that you got the correct solution. Okay, now we've done the 5 here. What do we have left? It looks like a 1, 2, and an 8. So I got the 8, can't be there. So this has to be your 8. And then you got the 2 here, means this has to be your 1. And now we can figure out some of these 1s and 2s, which is nice. And then other thing is we got 8, 8, 8, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I got a 1 and a 2. Now I know this has to be your 3. This is going to be your 2. This is going to be your 1. There's going to be 2. We're going to be able to solve. I really like trying to solve all these by-value cells as much as I can and clear up these marks. I make marks to help me solve, but once I solve, I want to get rid of them. All right. And so we'll clear up a lot of those 1s and 2s there. Looking good. And what's the last 2 cells we need? A 4 and a 9. Can we solve 4 and a 9 yet? No, not at this juncture, but I bet we will be getting there really soon. Okay, so curiously, we got 6 cells right here. I got this 2, so let's get this 1 in there real quick. What are we missing? Oh, it looks like a 1, 5, 8 up here. 1, 5, 8. I got an 8 and a 5, so this actually has to be a 1. Now with these 1s and this 1 means this has to be a 1. And now I want to keep on focusing, and you always want to see where is my greatest restriction that I can make some more solves. You're looking now for a 2, looks like a 2, 3, 4 coming up here. Actually can't do any more solving with that. 2, 4, 5, 7, can't do any more solving with that. So now you want to go, okay, Timberlake, what can I do to create some better solves here? And what you might notice is these 8s are kind of a pointing pair. So the 8s can't be in these cells, so the 8s actually have to be right there. That might help us out a little bit, because what we can see now is you got this 2 cutting across, 2 up here, means this has to be a 2, and then that would have to be an 8. Now we can get some more solvent. So now we're looking for a 4. Looks like it'd be a 4 or a 7 right here. I will mark that just to show that we're going to bump out the 4 from right there. That's got to be a 9 now, and that has to be a 4. And now we can figure out everything that's down here, because once we got rid of that 9 in column 2, that's your 8, that's your 3, that's your 9, that's your 3, that's your 9, that's your 8. Nice. All right, so we got all that solving, and I love getting all that solving in. So let's kind of change our focus now and see what else we can solve here. We got 2 cells missing in column 5. So I always want to focus, where did I have the greatest restriction? And it's going to be here in column 5. We're missing a 4. It looks like a 4 and a 6. So I got 6, 6. Here's your 6. Here's your 4. Now we can figure out that 7 and that 4. Love it, love it. And then we're going to see here, what do we have? It looks like a 2 and a 3. So I got 2, 2. This has to be your 2. And this would be your 3. And now we have a full house. So we know we can solve this last cell. That has to be a 7, which means that's going to be a 5. That's your 7. That's your 5. Nice. And with this 2 down here, means that's a 4 and that's a 2. We got another full house. We know we can solve this cell. Has to be your 3. And then what are we looking for down here? We got a 5 cutting across row 1. So there's got to be your 5. We're missing an 8. Okay, we'll solve that 8. And then here, what are we missing? A 4 and a 7. Here's your 7. So there's your 7 and there's your 4. So you think you got W wings figured out? Check out this other puzzle to see W wings featured in a different and challenging way. I want to thank Wisteria so much for the Setter Spotlight series. These puzzles have been awesome. You're a great setter. Don't forget, I got a Buy Me a Coffee link. If you want to support this channel, click below on the link. Thank you so much for watching.